Very good evening, all of you. Hope you all are doing well. Let's start with today's session. Now, in today's session, we are going to discuss about what are the different ways of passing parameters to functions. Get it? Like in the past session, we have discussed, like we defined functions, then we were passing some values to that function. Yesterday, some 4 or 5 examples we saw. So sometimes we were passing string, sometimes we were passing list, sometimes number. So what are the different ways in which you can pass parameters? So in Python, there are 4 different ways of passing parameter. One is positional argument. Second is keyword argument. Third, variable length. And one is default. Okay, so all these 4 we will be discussing one by one with example. These are very common interview questions. So positional parameter, or you can say positional argument. Second is keyword. Third is default argument. And fourth, variable length argument. Variable length is very, very useful. Okay, and all these 4 one by one we will discuss with examples. First, we'll talk about positional argument. Now, in this case, the number of actuals and the number of formals should be same. I hope you know the difference between actual arguments and formal parameters, right?
Yes.
Whenever you're calling the function, okay, and you're defining the function. So whatever parameters are given to that definition, which will be using within the body, okay, like X, Y, whatever. These are formal. They are called as dummy. They are formal parameters. And within the body, you're going to use this X, Y, Z. And when you're calling that function, and that time you're passing some values. Getting? So these are the actuals. I hope you know it. So at the time of call, whatever you pass, they are actuals. And these values, when get copied in the variables which are used within that definition, they are formals. Now, about positional argument is that the number of actuals and the number of formals should be same, first of all. The count has to be same. Like here in the definition, the formals are 3. So at the time of call also, the argument should be 3. Okay, that is first rule. The first rule is in the definition, if there are 3 parameters. So exactly at the time of call also, you have to give 3, not more, not less. Okay, 1. And second, there is a 1:1 correspondence between the actual and the formal. Meaning the first formal corresponds to first actual. Means this is the first actual will get copied in first formal. Second actual, second formal. Third actual, third formal. There is a 1:1 correspondence. Get it? So that is the peculiarity. Therefore, here what is important? Position is important. That's what I want to say. The position of the argument is important, or the position of the parameter is important. Okay, so 2 important peculiarity you have to remember, that the number of actuals and the number of formals, the count has to be same. And second, the position of the actual is important. That is, there is a 1:1 correspondence between the actual and the formal. Getting? So what happens is if the position change, the answer may change. Okay, I'll give a very simple example. Like you have defined a function sub, okay, with 2 arguments, right? And you are returning the subtraction of it, x minus y. Now the thing is, when I'm calling that sub, okay, I'm passing the exact number of argument. The count is same. 2 formals, 2 actual. Okay, now the correspondence is 10 with x and 20 with y. So it will return 10 minus 20, that is minus 10. But suppose you're passing the same number of argument, the values are also same, only the position is changed. See here, 20 and 10. So the count is correct. Here there are two formals, two actual. The values are also same, which we gave in the first call. The same value in the second call you are giving. The values are also same, but only the position is changing. And as the position is changing, the answer may change. Get it? Sometimes it may not, but in some situation, like in this logic, the answer may change. See, 20 is corresponded with X and 10 is corresponded with Y. The correspondence is changed, no? Because the position is changed. Here 20 is at first position and 10 is at second. So 20 will correspond with X and 10 will correspond with Y. And therefore you will get answer 20 minus 10, that is 10. Whereas previously 20 was at second position and 10 was at first. So correspondence is like that, 10 with X and 20 with Y. So 10 minus 20 minus 10. So that's what I want to prove, that though the count of actual and the count of formal is same, the values are also same, but if the position change, the answer may change. That is the importance in this, the position. Correct? And here, if you pass more, then also it will give an error. If you pass less, then also it will give an error. If you pass more, then it will say expected 2, but 3 were given. Okay. And if you're giving less, then it will say missing value for the positional parameter. Like if you're giving only 20 and 10 you didn't give. So it will give that missing value for positional parameter Y. So in both case, error is going to come. Okay. So that is the speciality of positional. So what you'll remember about positional, the count of actual and the count of formal should be same. Correct? And the actuals are getting corresponded with the formal in 1:1 way. First actual, first formal, second actual, second formal. Therefore, here the position of the actual is important. Understanding? The position of the actual parameter is important. Like 2 times I'm calling the same function, the same number of argument, the same value, only the order is changed. Means the position is changed. In both case, you may get different result. Though the arguments are same, only the position changed and the result changed. Understanding? Clear? So focuses mainly on the position of the parameter in the way they are passed to the functions. Okay, so here the importance is given to position. The number of actual argument, the number of argument and the position of the argument match. Means, first of all, the count of actual, count of formal should be same. And the position 1:1 correspondence. Okay. See, there is a 1:1 correspondence between the actual and the formal. Example, you can see, I have defined one function sub with two formal parameter x and y, and we are just returning the subtraction of it. Now I'm calling it the function I'm calling with two arguments. Now you can see 5 and 6, 2, 2, and the formal is 2. The count is same. Okay. Now 1:1 correspondence. 5 will correspond with x, 6 with y. Therefore 5 minus 6 minus 1. Get it? The answer is -1. X correspond to 5, y correspond to 6. But next time what I'm doing is I'm calling the same function. I'm passing the same parameters, only the position is changed. See, here also I'm passing two argument only. Okay, and there are two parameters. Values are also same, only the position is changed. And as the position is changed, the answer changes. 6 with x and 5 with y. Get it? And you get 6 minus 5, 1 as an answer. X correspond with 6 and y correspond with 5. Okay, so I hope you got it. Means here the importance is given to the position. And if the position of the parameter change, the answer may change. Correct? And then I told you like if you pass more values, less value, how it works. So if you pass one value instead of two, okay, two are expected, but one you give. It will give an error that missing value for positional argument y. Correct? See here. You're passing one less, sub 5. Okay, and you're not giving the second. Is it giving missing one required positional argument y? And if you give more, if expected are 2, but you give more, then it will give like expected 2, but 3 were given, expected 2, but 4 were given. So if you pass more than 2 value instead of 2, still you will get a error. See, takes 2 positional argument, but 3 were given. Expected are 2, but you are giving 3. Then also it will generate error. Okay, I'll give you a demonstration of it. Okay, see, I'll give an example of position. Sub x comma y, and we are just returning x comma y. Print sub 10 comma 20 if I write, and print sub 20 comma 10. So the same function is called, the count is also matching. There are two positional, two actual. Two positionals are the xy, sorry, two formals and two actual. So two parameters, two actual. Count is same. Okay, so there is a 1:1 correspondence. Next time the count is same, value same, only the position change. And therefore the correspondence change. 20 is corresponded with x, 10 with y. Therefore you get 20 minus 10, whereas in the first case you get 10 minus 20. Okay, see here. Right now, and positional. Is it giving minus 10, 10? Now I'll show you the error. Print sub 10 I'm giving. Is it giving an error? Sub missing one required positional argument y. Okay, and suppose now I put this in comment, and second one I'm giving sub 10 comma 20 comma 30. Okay, now it will give expected 2 but 3 were given. See, sub takes 2 positional argument but 3 were given. Understanding? So it is Python is quite robust like Java. It does proper checking that here the function defined, it's not like JavaScript or like JavaScript, it just simply ignores. If you give more, it will ignore. If you give less, it will give undefined. It will keep the remaining as undefined. So such thing is not here. Here proper checking is done. Like if you have defined by two argument, you have to pass two only, not less, not more. Get it? Okay. Now I hope the positional argument concept is clear. Right, guys? You can give me quick confirmation so that we will move to the second technique.
Yes.
Okay. Others also, Murli, and I don't know others who have joined now. Then moving to the second technique, that is keyword argument. Now here what the specialty is. Okay. Here the count has to be same. The count of formal and the count of actual. That is same rule like position. Okay. The number of actual and the number of formal, the count should be same. That rule is same like positional. But here the specialty is you can pass the actual values in any order. Here the order is not important. Why? Because at the time of call, you're not only mentioning the actual value, but you're also corresponding that actual value with their formal. Correct? Means at the time of call, also you have to mention the name of formal equal to actual. Like that. At the time of call, I'm saying. Get it? Like you have defined that function sub, okay? X comma Y. Logic is there. And now when you're calling at that time, they say you can pass the actual, but the order is not important because at the time of call, you have to mention that that actual is for which formal. This way, formal equal to actual. So here if I give X equal to 10, like this you have to give Y equal to 20. Get it? And suppose I'm calling the same function, same value, only the order I've written Y equal to 20 and X equal to 10 if I write. Get it? Still you are going to get the same output for both the call. So that's what the specialty, what is the specialty in keyword? At the time of call, you're not only giving the values, which we did it in case of positional. You're only giving the actual value. Here, you are not only giving the actual value, but you're also telling that actual is for which formal by using equal to. It's not assigning. It is not assigning 20 to Y or 10 to X. It is just associating, like who is for who. Getting? So you can remember like that 20 is associated with Y, 10 is associated with X. Okay. And here again same 10 with X and 20 with Y. So indirectly you can say like it is storing 20 in Y and 10 in X. Here also 10 in X and 20 in Y. The main thing is here the position is not important. That is the specialty in case of keyword argument. Getting? Here you may say what is the key? Generally we think keyword means a reserved word. Here keyword means keys. These are the keys and these are the value. Key value. I hope you have learned dictionary now. Yes or no? Before starting this unit, this module, in the previous module, we have learned all the data structures, four data structure. Dictionary, you have learned key and the value, key value. Internally, that is only the concept here. This is the key and this is the value. Y is key, 20 is value. X is key, 10 is value. Understanding? Clear? So, what is the speciality of keyword? That is clear. In case of keyword, like positional only, the number of formal and the number of actual should be same. Only the order doesn't matter. Here the position is not important. Why? Because at the time of call, you're not only giving the actual value, you're associating it with the formal also. Means that actual is for which formal? That actual is for which formal? And therefore the order is immaterial. See, here I wrote Y20, here X10. Getting clear? Now you may say, can we do mix like some positional and some keyword? Getting is possible, but the rule is once you start giving keyword, all should be keyword. Getting? Let's see. Here if I write def and I'm writing foo with four parameters are there, A, B, C, D. And inside I've written some logic in which I'm going to use it. Now at the time of call, suppose if I give 10 and 20 first, okay, and then I'm writing C equal to 30 and D equal to 40 is allowed. Meaning the first two will be strictly positional. Very good. So there is a 1:1 correspondence. So 10 will correspond with A, 20 with B. Because here the positional is important. Position important. Correct? So 10 with A and 20 with B. And remaining to whom you have associated, it will take. Now 30 is associated with C. So 30 will go in C. 40 with D. Okay. The same thing if I write like this. 10, 20, and then I'm writing D equal to 40, okay, and C equal to 30. Still, you'll get the same output because once you start giving keywords, the order is not important. Getting the same thing if I write like this 10 and here I am writing D equal to 40, C equal to 30, B equal to 20. Doesn't matter. Why? Because once you start giving keywords, all a keyword. That is the rule. The rule is once you start giving keyword argument, all the remaining should be keyword only. Getting? So this will also generate what output? Same. Getting? And suppose if I write B equal to 20, then I'm writing C equal to 30, then I'm writing A equal to 10 and D equal to 40. This will also give the same output. Means all these calls, this call, this call, this call, this, all are going to generate the same output. Getting? But I hope you got it. Here, 10 and 20 are positional. So 10 will correspond with A, B with 20 with B. These are strictly positional. And then you are starting keyword. Then all remaining should be keyword. That is the rule. Okay. Means in this, you cannot write like this. See guys, 10. Okay. Then you are writing C equal to 30. Then you are writing B equal to 20 and 40 is not allowed. Means first positional, then in between you started with keyword and then again positional. Not allowed. Getting? That is the rule. Why? Because the correspondence may go wrong. Here 40 is with D, but already here you might have used D because for keyword the order doesn't matter. Getting? So the rule is once you start giving keywords, all should be keywords. Okay? So keyword and positional you can mix, means few positional, few keyword, but the rule is first you have to give all the positional, and once you start giving keyword, all should be keyword only. After keywords, again, what cannot come? Position. Okay? And the rule is, sorry, the speciality of keyword is, I hope you got it. Here the position is not important. You can give the values in any order. Why? Because at the time of call, you're not only giving values, you're associating that values with the formal as well. Argument equal to value, comma, argument equal to value. Understanding? No? Sorry, formal equal to value. So at the time of call, you're giving the key equal to value. The key means what you got it. The key means the name of the formal and the actual, formal, actual, formal, actual. That is the specialty. Okay? See. So in this case, we pass the values of the parameter using parameter's name. That is the specialty. Means when you're calling and that time when you're passing the value, you're not only giving the value, you're associating that value with parameter name as well. Get it? Here there is no one-to-one correspondence. First actual, first formal, second actual, second. That is a specialty. That here you can give the values in any order. No one-to-one correspondence between actual and formal. Get it? The position of the parameter is not important. You can pass in any order. Why? Because why we are allowed to pass in any order? Because you're not only giving the value, you're giving the formal name also no, over there with equal. So key equal to value. That is the specialty. Now, as an example, suppose I'm defining one function wish with these are just the examples to illustrate the concept, guys. Get it? Generally, in interviews, you should take simple examples and try to tell that concept instead of taking very, very lengthy codes. No one is interested to listen. Correct? So always remember in interviews, you should take very small codes and try to explain that concept. Because when they ask, like, explain the concept of keyword, then you will take an example. That example is only so lengthy. No need. Take a simple, because main thing what that person wants to check whether the concept is clear or not. They don't want to check what logic is written inside it. What logic is written inside it? For that, there will be a separate programming round. Getting on? First, when they are taking just technical interviews sort of thing. So that time the concepts will be checked. Getting? So that time try restrict yourself to simple examples and try to justify that. Okay? So this is a function wish with two arguments, name and message. And we are just printing hello, whatever the name and the message. Okay? Now you're calling it. See, at the time of call, when you're calling, you're giving the actual and also telling that this actual is for which formal. See, Ram is for name and good morning is for message. Getting? So when the function run, the control will go there. It will run this function. It will display hello, Ram, good morning. Right? I hope you got it. And suppose I'm calling the same function, same values, but order is changed. Doesn't matter. Still, good morning is associated with message and Ram is associated with name. So output will be same only. Understanding? No? Clear? Okay. And if you want to do mix, so in definition, there is no change. Definition, you will define the function like a normal function only. At the time of call, first you have to give all the positional, and once you start with the keyword, all remaining should be keyword. Okay? So Python supports both positional and keyword argument together. But make sure always write the keyword after positional. Means once you have given all the positional and you start keyword, then after that all remaining should be keyword argument only. For that, I'll give you one illustration. It will be more clear. See, one very simple function f I have written with four arguments, and you're adding that all four, a plus b plus c plus d. Okay? Now, if suppose I'm calling the same function in different ways, okay, values are same, but the orders are different. See, first I'm calling f with two positional, two keyword. First two are positional, na guys. So strictly 3 will correspond with A and 4 will correspond with B. And remaining two you have given with keyword, 6 with C and 7 with D. Okay, so will it be 14 and 6, 20, right? Now in second case, see, you're passing first two positional, remaining two keyword, and the order you can check. D equal to 7, C equal to 6. Doesn't matter. In third case, only first positional I've given. In A, 3, and the remaining 3 I have given as keyword. See, first B, then D, then C. Okay. In fourth case, also you can see the first one is positional and the remaining 3 are keyword. Once you start with keyword, the order doesn't matter. Get it? 7 is with D only, 6 is with C, 4 is with B. Will all these four call produce the same result, guys?
Yes.
Yes, others also, please confirm. Others are there or no? Huh.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sure. All these four are going to generate same result. What do you say? Agreed, no? 3 will go in A, 4 will go in B, 6 in C, and 7 in D. Add. Second case also see 3 in A, 4 in B, 6 in C, and 7 in D. Getting? All four are going to generate the same result. Okay? And this, if you do, it will give an error. Why? Because just now I told once you start with keyword, all remaining should be keyword. Again, you cannot have a position. Means now in this case, it is saying D is strictly a keyword. D is strictly a keyword that cannot be given as position. See, syntax error. Positional argument follows keyword argument. Which is the positional argument which is following the keyword argument? This fourth. Right or no? Fourth one. 7, 7. That is D. So it is saying that positional is following the keyword. Follow करना में समझ में आया ना? Coming after. So who is following who? This 7 is following this keyword. This is the keyword argument and this is positional. So they say positional argument follows keyword argument. Get it? Okay. So I hope you got it. I'll give you the quick demonstration of this. Keyword.py I'll give. I'll give def greet, name and message. And we are just printing, okay, hello, comma name, comma message. Okay. Now you can call that greet function. Greet, pass whatever value you want. Like I'm giving name equal to Ram and message equal to good morning. Okay. And again, if I call greet and here I'm writing message equal to good morning and name equal to Ram. Doesn't matter. In both case, the output is going to be same. So that is the speciality of keyword. What is the speciality of keyword? That the order doesn't matter. In any order, you can pass the value. There is no 1:1 correspondence. 1:1 correspondence is not there. Why? Because in case of keyword, at the time of call, you're not only giving the actual, you're also associating it with the formal. Actual and the formal. The formal name is also mentioned here. समझ रहा है ना? बता रहा है कि ये राम किस फॉर्मल के लिए and good morning किसके लिए. Understanding? I hope it is clear. And as I said, like def f a comma b comma c comma d, you're just returning a plus b plus c plus d. Now, if you're calling this f with like this 1020 c equal to 30 d equal to 40. Okay, I'll just try to create different variations. 1020, here D equal to 40 and C equal to 30. Okay, or if I'm writing here B equal to 20, or I'm taking this C here, D here, and B somewhere last, B equal to 20. Correct? All these combinations, are they going to produce the same result?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. See, positional keyword. Okay. See, the first two calls you got it. Let the sequence be anything. Still, Ram goes with name and good morning with message. So order doesn't matter because you're only not giving actual. You're also telling that actual is for which form. And in next four, see, all cases you're getting 100. 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40. But as I said, if you're giving like this f of 10, then c equal to 30, b equal to 20, and 40 if I give. Is it going to give an error? Yes. Your
Yes.
VS code only is giving an error. Can you see? Means there is no need to interpret also the code. Your VS code only is so smart enough. But VS Code has not become on its own smart. We have added that plugins, if you remember. Initially, if you have attended the session when I showed to install VS Code, I've shown you how to install VS Code also. That time I told you you have to add some plugins. From here we selected Python and then we added that plugins. And because of that, it is doing the checking at the time of typing only. See, here only it is giving an error. Positional argument cannot appear after keyword argument. Correct? And still, if you want to run and see this, is it giving an error? Syntax error. Positional argument follows keyword argument. Get it? So that is the rule. I hope that rule you will remember. Okay? Now there is a third technique, third parameter passing technique, that is default. Okay. Now in this case, what they say, when you're defining the function, at that time only to the parameters, you can assign and keep some default value. Okay. Whenever you're defining any function, therefore, and some parameters are there, x, y. To these parameters, you can assign and keep some default value. Okay. So that at the time of call, if that parameter is missing, it will take the default value. Means at the time of call, if you haven't given any explicit value, you have not provided, then it will take which value? The default. And if you have passed, your value will be used. See, like if I'm calling foo with 50 and 60, okay? So 50 will go in X, 60 will go in Y. It is not going to use the default value because you have given explicit value. But if suppose you're only giving 50 and you're not giving the second argument, okay, the first is given and the second is not given, then what it does is it takes this
Default.
Y as 20, the default. Understanding? No? So that is the working. The working is like that. That at the time of call, if explicit value is not provided, then it takes the default value. Okay, so the rule is clear to you. And here also you can give this actuals you can pass by keyword also. It's not necessary you have to pass by positional only. Correct? Like here I'm writing foo and here I'm writing x equal to 50. Will do. Okay? Means you can pass it by keyword also. Right? And the rule is, in this case also, there is a rule that whenever you give any default value to the parameter, okay, then all the remaining also should have default. Once you start giving default, all the remaining should have default. I mean, this is not valid. Like def f, A is there, A is one parameter. To B, I have given default. And then C, I'm not giving default, is not allowed. Means once you start giving the default value, you are giving a default value to a parameter, then all the remaining should have default. Understanding? Clear? So I hope it is clear to you. So this won't work. C equal to something you have to give. Okay? Yeah. So the concept is clear, right, na, guys?
Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Some examples I'll give you. So default values are assigned to the positional argument. So whenever you are defining the function, then to the arguments you are assigning some default by equal to. And now when that default is used in absence of explicit value at the time of call. So at the time of call, you are not giving any explicit value. It will take the default value. Correct? So used in absence of explicit value during call. Example C. Def wish name equal to Ram. So default value what I have given to this parameter,
Ram.
the default value is Ram. So at the time of call, if you don't give any explicit value, it will take this default value. Hello, name and good morning. See, I'm calling. For the first time, I've given explicit value Sita. Wish Sita. So Sita will be used. It will not take the default value because you have given the explicit value. Is explicit value missing? No. It is used in absence of explicit value. But here explicit value is given. So Sita will come in name and it will print, hello Sita, good morning. But in the second case, you haven't given explicit value to the parameter. Therefore, it will take which value? The default value. Therefore, for the first time, you'll get hello Sita, good morning. But in the second case, you are getting name as default. Understanding? Okay? And the rule is whenever you are giving the default value to the parameters, so if you give any default to any parameter, then all the remaining also should have default. Get it? See, syntactically, default arguments follow non-default arguments. You understanding? Like if X and Y are given, and then Z come, and you're giving the default. So it is saying default argument follow non-default. X and Y are non-default. So after that only the default can come. Now again if something come, it's not allowed because this is non-default. So non-default cannot follow default. Default follows non-default. Default argument follow non-default. But non-default cannot come after default. It is syntactically error. Correct? So that rule also you should remember. See, like I have given name and message. So can you see message is given a default value. So it is following whom? A non-default value. Getting? Now in first case, I'm passing both the values. Explicitly, I'm giving the values. Okay? Explicitly, I have given value like name will go in Ram and good day will go in message. So hello, Ram, good day. But in second case, you have given Ram, but second is not given. So it will take default. So Ram will come in name and message will be taken as default. Okay? Okay. Now I'll go to the next one, but before that, just simple illustration I'll give you. Default.py, right? And if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Here I'll take some other example. The one which is shown on the slide that you can go through. Here what I'll do is I'll take one example, add 10 comma add 10 comma 20 A comma B. And what I'm doing, I'm giving default to both. See, you can check. Does it give a syntax error here? First I've given default and then non-default is coming. You can check also. See, B is not accessed. Non-default argument follows default argument, which is not allowed. What is the rule? Default should follow non-default. Non-default cannot follow D. So you can check, see, it is a syntactic error only. It's giving red. So what I'm doing, I'm giving some default to B also. For both, I'm giving default. I'm just returning A plus B. Okay? Print. Suppose I call add and I'm not passing both the value, or I'm passing values 50 and 60 if I give. So there is an explicit value, isn't it? So as there is an explicit value, it will not take the default. 50 will go in A, 60 in B, and 110 answer will come. If I'm calling add with only 50, okay? So will 50 go in A and B is default? So it will return 80 because B taken is default. And if I call add and I'm not passing anything, print add and I'm not giving anything. Okay? Will it take both the default?
Yes.
Yes. So 20 and 30, 50. But now some may ask like, I want A should be taken default and B I want to give. Like in second example, what is taken default in the second example?
B as default.
B as default means 50 has gone in A and automatically B as default. In third case, both are default. But my intention is that I want to give B value and A should be taken default. Whereas here, see how automatically B was taken default. Right or no? So in such situation, when the later one you want to give and the previous one, okay, you want as a default, then there is no option other than keyword technique. You have to pass it as keyword only. Okay, like this, B equal to 60. Now what it will do, as we have explicitly mentioned, B equal to 60 as a keyword, so 60 will go to B, and which is missing now?
A.
So it will take A as default. Correct? In such situation, you have to pass the parameters as keyword only. So that was my main intention to show you because I've not shown such example on the slide. Okay. Okay. And you will see such functions already provided by Python also. Python also has given so many library functions in which they have kept some parameters default. Getting the best example is print only. Getting guys, print. See, to that print, every time do we pass that SCP parameter? I give A, B, C, or whatever, 10, 20, 30. Okay. So what does it take the separator as by default? It will print 10, then 20, then 30. So what is the separator between all the value? Space. Yes or no? So that is
Yes.
one default parameter. See, they have one parameter called SCP. And what is the default value for that SCP? Space. It takes space. But if you want to give something other than that, then you mention it. We have learned in, I guess, the second or third lecture only when we
Yes.
discussed
Yes.
about print. So this is the same example. This SCP is having which value? Is it a default
Colon.
parameter? No,
Default.
now we have given colon. By
Yeah.
default it is. By default it is what?
Space.
Space. By default it is space. But you don't want space, then you give explicit value, no? SCP equal to colon. Getting?
Yeah.
So that SCP is the best example of default argument. It is taking
Yes.
that argument as default. What is the default value? Space. Getting? Same way there is one end parameter also. Okay. What is actually by default end? What is the default value for end? Whenever we print anything, what comes at the end?
Bracket.
No, no. Output.
Full
In
stop.
output. Huh? By default, when the print does printing, what it puts at the end? End में क्या डाल देता है? New line ना guys, सब भूल जाते हो. Again back to भोपळा चौक. In Marathi we call it as वापस back to zero.
Yes.
Tell
Next
me.
line.
So that's what I'm asking. Like if I'm writing hello and then again I'm writing world. So what does this print put by default at the end? After printing hello, what does it put at the end? New line. After printing
World.
world,
World. Like the next line.
next line, and new line. It's called as new line.
Yes.
Getting? But if you don't want new line, you want something else. So do we write end equal to something? End equal to something. So now I have given end equal to dot. So after printing 10, 20, 30, it will put dot at the end. But when you don't give
Yes.
it, then what is the default value for that end?
Next.
Next line or new line. Get it? So print is the best example. See, print is having such parameters who are having default value. Like SCP, its default value is space. end, its default value is new line. And if you don't give those parameters, does it take default? Yes. And if you want, you can give explicitly. Explicitly, you can give the values. Okay? Okay. So I hope this concept is clear to you. Quickly about fourth technique, I'll tell you. Maybe we will not be able to complete it. But anyways, at least the concept I'll tell you. Okay. Now, what is variable length argument? Now, in this case, they say you can define a function to which you can pass any number of arguments at the time of call. Means when you're calling that function, okay, you are allowed to pass any number of arguments. Any number means variable number. When the counter is not fixed, means you're calling add, now I'm passing 3 values. The same add if I call, but now I'm going to pass 10 values. Get it? So the same function, but to that same function, you are passing different number of arguments. Sometimes 3, sometimes 10, sometimes 2. So when such facility is allowed, such facility is there, if that they have provided such facility where you can call a function and at that time you can pass any number of arguments, then that is called as variable number of arguments. But then how Python knows that this will go in what? This 3 will go in what? So for that, the technique is when you define the function, okay, whatever argument you are going to give, you have to put star before it. When you give star, but if you don't give star, this will give an error, guys. If I don't write star, then what will happen? It will just pass 2 to S. This 2 only will come in S. And remaining are not having anything. It will generate an error. It will say that the function is with 1 positional, but 4 were given, 8 were given. Get it? So when you put a star before it, Python knows that it is supposed to pack all this into a tuple. And then it will pass that single tuple over here. You see how data structures are so important, which we learned in the previous module. Right or no? We discussed list, tuple, set, dictionary. Those data structure Python itself is using for its internal purpose. It is not just saying to the programmers that use tuple, use list, use it. They themselves are also using. Understanding or no? Clear? Like it is not just preaching to the world. Means दुनिया को से बोल रहा है ऐसा करो वैसा करो खुद कुछ नहीं कर रहे. Getting? It's not like that. In Marathi, there is a proverb for that. Like दुनिया संगे जगा संगे ब्रह्मज्ञान स्वतः कोरडे पाषाण. Like that means खुद कुछ follow नहीं कर रहा है. And दुनिया को से बता रहा है क्या कि ये करो वो करो ये करो and they themselves are not following. This is not the case in Python. Python has given facility of list, tuple, dictionary, everything to us, but they are not saying just to us to use it. They themselves are also using it in many cases. You understanding, guys? So what happens is all these values get packed into a tuple and then the tuple is passed here. But how Python knows that all are to be packed into a tuple and then passed? Because of this star. To that argument, you have given star. So as the star is put, sure, in this many values are going to come. Getting? Like in next case, if I am passing 10 value, all the 10 values are packed into a tuple and that tuple comes here. And as it's a tuple, can I access inside that function, that tuple using a for loop? One by one, can I access the values
Yes.
from it? Yes.
Yes.
As it's a tuple, using a for loop, I can access it. Understanding, guys? Okay? So the basic idea you got. And in this also, you can pass variable number of keywords also. Like add, I'm writing x equal to 5. Y, every time I'm using numeric value, it is no hard and fast rule, guys. Z equal to 30 like that. Okay? And add, next time I'm writing A equal to 1, B equal to 2, Y equal to something. Okay? Z equal to something. So variable number of keyword. Previously what I did, variable number of positional. This is variable number of keyword. Now in this case also what it does, it packs it, but now it will pack it in a dictionary. So how the function Python knows that it is to be packed in a dictionary and then pass. Getting? So when you're defining the function, okay, whatever that argument is, there you have to put double star. So when you put double star, Python knows that all these are to be packed into a dictionary and then that dictionary is sent here. Means see, again, is it using some data structure? Which data structure it is using? Dictionary.
Dictionary.
Key is
Getting?
equal to
This X is a key and phi is value, key value, key value. So it creates a dictionary of all these values and then it passes that dictionary. And when you give positional, then they all are packed in a tuple and then the tuple is passed. Okay. So we will see the examples of this, okay, in the next session. Right? And then all the parameter techniques will get over. Then we have to start with a very important topic called lambda functions. Okay? Once lambda function is over, then this function module will be over. Then we have to proceed with object-oriented programming, OOP. Okay?